We are the Ministry of the Real Truth, and you've just finished watching a live show where a certain narrator claimed to be able to speak and write the original Hebrew. We looked behind the scenes because they're talking about cursive Hebrew, etc., and we found that to be a modern version of the Hebrew, not the original ancient, long dead, no longer written or spoken Tav Ivri or Hebrew. Many people in that chat, they're probably Hebrew Israelites. They kept saying Yahu, Washi, Washi, Yahu, Wa, Wa, all this sort of stuff. Yahu, Yahshua, all these names, right? And we know as a fact because we went and asked a professor, Dr. James D. Francisco, with 2 PhDs in what we believe to be the modern Aramaic and the modern Hebrew, even though he says, oh yeah, he translated the Tav Asherit, the original ancient, long dead, no longer written, no longer spoken Aramaic. And we thought, well, if he did, then it would be the same as the Aramaic speaking translator Victor Alexander's translation project, where he got or bought a Bible formatted version of the original ancient Old Testament Tav Asherit manuscripts and the Galilean Aramaic New Testament manuscripts that were hidden and preserved by the Apostolic Church of these for 2,000 years. He got hold of it and he translated it after being told that he was translated from the wrong one, maybe the Umayyad or the 1889 mess up that the American missionaries done when they tried to translate the King James Version into Syriac at the time. They botched it up, right? So after a year of depression, right, apparently, according to his translation project, he started to work on that. Okay? Because this high priest of the Apostolic Church restored told him, why are you translating from that? It's wrong. It's not what we use, etc., etc., right? So we're asking all these questions in there, and we got put in time out because we feel that people don't want to be approached by some sort of competition or opposition to what they believe in, right? So the moderators, to stop that, they've been paid or whatever to promote that particular version, right? They kick out or put the other people that say something different to what they're preaching in time out. Often it can be unfair, and they put you in there for the whole session. You might have a show that's 3 hours long and you're stuck in there, right? You might just ask them, oh, okay, can you answer this question? They don't answer you, they just put you in time out. Okay? They want to suppress you because they don't want you exposing their belief or their claims as false. Yeah, it's very unjust, very unfair. So these people kept saying all this, what we believe to be Hebrew Israelite, Yahu, Washi, Washi, Yahu, Wa, 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 all this sort of stuff. And we said to them, but hang on, how can this be the God's name, his true name? Okay, they are your Hebrew Israelites, right? It can't be his true name. If we went to a professor, Dr. James D. Francisco, and put a comment and asked him, is Yahu, Washi, Washi, Yahu, Wa, Wa in the Hebrew? And he said, after a bit of tension, he thought we were playing games, he said, no, it's not. It's a load of rubbish. It's not in there. It's not in Hebrew. And then you find that Rabbi Yaron Reuben has been saying to the Hebrew Israelites, you're fake. You don't know Hebrew. You don't do this. You don't do that. Right? He's called them out. Okay. So there's two who can verify that they're fake. There's probably another one out there. So if there's 3 different people saying, yeah, they're fake, right? These people never met each other, haven't sat in the same room, haven't influenced each other, haven't swayed them from their ideals and said, accept mine because mine's the only truth. Then that's synchronizing. That's an established fact, right? We could have 3 different people from different time periods that basically said the same thing. It could be someone in Jesus' day, maybe one of the disciples, maybe a later Greek philosopher, maybe somebody from France. 3 different people that never sat in the same room and swayed each other. Okay, so that synchronizes. So that establishes the fact. It's fact. And you've got to find the evidence that proves that. You've got to find the evidence that proves itself evident. And you've got to figure out, got to find out by doing the research, is that writer, that author, that scribe, etc., infallible, irrefutable? Okay, because if you do, and you verify that, then that deems his writings irrefutable, infallible, irrefutable, right? You'll always get someone there to debunk it because they can, and they will, just for the hell of it. Okay, so asking all these different questions, and we're getting all these silly answers, right? You see, well, if it's not in the original Hebrew, or even the modern Hebrew, Yahu, Wahi, Wahi, Washi, Washi, whatever, then where'd you get it from? And they make up all this rubbish, right? And then they start calling themselves Ben Yahuda, Yahweh, Wah, 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 all this sort of stuff, right? It's just to make them look cool, right? Give them a fancy name so you think that they're knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about, right? And then they'll tell you, oh no, Aramaic not a language. So what do? We went to AI, because apparently this guy on this live show said that he went to AI, ChatGPT, and asked it all these questions, and it gave him all these answers. What is the real name of God? And it told him all this stuff, right? But how can that be the real name of God if that's a modern Hebrew? Okay? We're asking questions like that, but nobody would answer it. Where did it come from, right? And then he starts saying, oh, if anyone tells you any different to what I'm saying, well, kick them out. Or don't listen to them, turn away from them, and uses the scriptures to verify that sort of thing, right? Jesus said, whatever. And that's their way to knock out the competition that might expose them as fake, right? As lying, yeah, false teachers. So we went to ChatGPT. We said, right, we're going to go to ChatGPT and ask it some questions, see what it says. The first time we went there, basically didn't do anything. So we went back, and this is what happened. We asked it, can you can you answer religious questions posed you, or that sort of stuff? Because another one, Deep AI, won't do that. So, I'm not really programmed to do that. But you got to keep prodding it, and then it finally buckles, right? You just got to know how to do it, and it'll give you these answers, right? Okay, so we basically went there and we asked it some questions. Are the Jews today lying? And it wouldn't talk about that. That's where it wouldn't. It felt that was unfair, right? Because we had some questions, right? Okay, so, and then we asked it, who then has the correct holy writ or manuscripts or text? And it said the question of which religious traditional group possesses the correct holy writ, manuscripts or text depends entirely on one's perspective and belief system. It's what you believe, right? Different religions and denominations within those religions have their own sacred texts that they believe to be authentic and authoritative. Basically, they've been told, this is what it says, this is what it means, this is the truth, and they keep pumping it into your head, over and over and over again. So it gets embedded in your subconscious, right? And then you go, oh yeah, okay, because it touches your heartstrings or something in your mind or whatever, right? Your emotions, and you start believing it. Oh yeah, that's the truth for me, right? Yeah, you're convinced, right? They've told you, yeah, this is how it is, and then this is what you should believe, or what do you think, and you start believing it, right? Because you keep hearing it over and over and over again, yeah? So it said the questions of which religious traditional group possesses the correct holy writ, manuscripts, or text depends entirely on one's perspective and belief system. Different religions and denominations within those religions have their own sacred texts that they believe to be authentic and authoritative. Here are some examples. 1. Judaism. The Hebrew Bible, known as the Tanakh, is considered authoritative by them, right? By the Jews, Hebrews, Israelites, in Israel today. Okay? Orthodox Jews generally adhere to the Masoretic text. They follow that. They stick to that, right? That's their source. Okay? And you might know some history about the Masoretic text. They added the vowels, vowel points, all this sort of stuff. Okay, so they adhere or follow the Masoretic text as the most reliable version of the Hebrew scriptures. It may be proven not. It may be proven it is, 2. Christianity. Christians typically recognize the Bible as their sacred text, consisting of the Old Testament, based on the Hebrew Bible, with Hebrew text, etc., and the New Testament. Different denominations may favor different translations or textual traditions, such as the Septuagint, Greek Old Testament, or various Greek manuscripts of the New Testament. 3. Islam. Muslims believe in the Quran as the final revelation from God, or Allah, revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. They consider the Quran in its original Arabic text to be the exact words of God. So they're probably claiming that that's the original, never been changed, tampered with, whatever. You can either prove that it is or isn't. to do that yourself. 4. Hinduism. Hindu scriptures include a vast array of texts, with the Vedas being the most ancient and authoritative, supposedly. Different sects within Hinduism, may emphasize different texts or interpretations. 5. Buddhism, which is a derivative. It's come out from Hinduism, right? Okay. It was originally Hindu, went Shinto, Zen, etc., etc., different countries, right? But this is its root, Hinduism. Buddhism. Buddhist scriptures vary by tradition and language. For example, Pali Canon in Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Sutras in Mahayana Buddhism, each considered authentic within its respective tradition. So do you think that Islam came from Hinduism? Because they have sutras, and these Muslims have sutras, don't they? Or surahs. Maybe similar, maybe not. You'd have to ask a practicing Muslim. We're not too sure on that one. So don't get the cops on us or anything like that. A terrorist squad. Okay, we're not too sure, as you just said. Determining the correct Holy Writ manuscripts or texts often involves historical scholarship. Textual criticism, apparently that's pretty bad. People like Kittel, etc., used this sort of thing, and it was all anti-Semite, anti-Christ, etc., etc. Not for Christ, they're against Christ. Even his son was. And theological interpretations within each religious community. Different groups may prioritize different manuscripts or versions based on their understanding of authenticity, or what's real. Transmission, which has been passed down through history, and theological significance. Yeah, it's all theoretical, isn't it? Theological. Yeah, this theory that seems logical. If you have a specific traditional text in mind, this is what ChatGPT is now asking, that you would like to know more about, feel free to ask. So you thought about it and asked, have you heard of the Tav Asheret? And it replied, yes, Tav Asheret, it has it there, probably in the Aramaic or even the Hebrew, with the, looks like vowel points maybe, refers to the Assyrian script, which is an ancient form of Hebrew. Because this lady said, oh no, Aramaic is not a language, it's a dialect, period. Okay, so we thought, okay, we'll go check it out with ChatGPT, like this narrator is using. Right? You're saying it's pretty reliable. So yeah, it says here, yes, Tav Asheret refers to the Assyrian script, which is an ancient form of Hebrew script, used primarily for writing Hebrew during the First Temple period, around 10th to 6th centuries BC. The script is characterized by its angular and somewhat blocky appearance. It's a square script or something like that, distinct from the modern Hebrew script they use today. So we proved that lady wrong. That woman wrong when she says, oh no, it's not a language, it's a dialect, period. Like, that's it, I'm right, you're wrong, right? Okay, so we went back and she didn't reply. So she's probably stumped, or she just ignored it. Tav Asheret is historically significant as it was a script used for writing important Jewish texts such as the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, and other ancient manuscripts. Yeah, usually the Hebrew was spoken, used, written, etc. within the temple for all holy purposes, whereas the Aramaic was for everyday chat, gossip, whatever, on the outside. It remained on the outside, but eventually it took over from Hebrew. Right? Even in the scriptures, it was a group of people that were being preached to by someone we forget, and they said, look, tell us that in the Aramaic, use the Aramaic, right? Because it was supposedly getting popular in that time period. Okay? So it was actually a language. There are many dialects of it, modern derivatives, etc. Okay? Out there in the Near East. Ask a person born in Syria, okay, a native born Syrian speaker. Don't just go, all this sort of rubbish. Some guy who went to a Bible seminar or a university and learnt Aramaic, or modern Syriac, or modern Hebrew, because they're going to tell you a whole lot of rubbish. What they've been taught, not what the people with the different mindset from the East, etc., who speak that language natively know. And then some will say, oh, I know it better than them. Oh my gosh, SMH. You know the language better than a native born Aramaic or Hebrew speaker? Oh my gosh, you're amazing. You're a genius. Okay, so asked it if it had heard of Tav Asheret, right? So it went through that. And today, Tab Eshet is primarily of interest to scholars and those studying ancient Hebrew texts for its historical and cultural significance. Yeah, even the Judaism, leaders of Judaism and the Roman Catholic Church says, we acknowledge it because it's attributed a lot to the study of the scriptures, right? Okay. So today, Tab Eshet is primarily of interest to scholars and those studying ancient Hebrew texts for its historical and cultural significance. It is not used in contemporary Hebrew writing or printing, except in contexts where a historical or traditional aesthetic is desired. Ask if I got any more questions. Okay, so it's actually a language, an ancient language, not used today. Okay, is Aramaic or was Aramaic a language or just a dialect? Aramaic is a distinct language rather than a dialect. It belongs to the Northwest Semitic group of languages, which also include Hebrew, Phoenician, and Moabite. Aramaic has a long history and was spoken across a vast region in the ancient Near East, including parts of present-day Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Turkey. Key points about Aramaic. 1. Language family. Aramaic is part of the Semitic language family, which includes languages spoken in the ancient Near East and today include Arabic, Hebrew, and others. We actually saw this in our other video prior to this, where this person from Africa said, it's Sem or Semi, S-E-M-E, okay? A misspelling of Semi, like Semi, S-E-M-I, half, yeah, etc. Which is from the son of Noah, Shem, okay? So we thought, okay. So if you were said to be anti-Semitic, or Semitic, S-E-M-E as they put it, then if that comes from Shem, you are being anti the descendants of Shem, right? Not the entire Semitic Israelites living in Israel today, Jews, etc., right? Isn't that logic and common sense? Isn't that the reality? If these people are saying that, it's Semi, S-E-M-E, and it comes from the son of Noah called Shem. So you are anti-Shemite, yeah? The descendants of Shem. That's how we saw it. Okay. Historical importance. Aramaic was a dominant language in the Near East for several centuries, particularly from around 1200 BCE to 600 CE. It served, this is before the Christian era, it served as a lingua franca, common language, across the region and was used extensively for administrative, literary, and religious purposes. 3. Diversity. Like any ancient language, Aramaic had regional variations. So different areas it had different variations, right? Different ways of saying it, pronouncing it, all that sort of stuff. And dialects. Some notable dialects include Old Aramaic, Imperial Aramaic, Biblical Aramaic, as seen in parts of the Hebrew Bible, and Jewish Palestinian Aramaic, used in Jewish texts and literature. 4. Literary legacy. Aramaic was used for a wide range of texts, including legal documents, inscriptions, diplomatic correspondence, and religious texts. Portions of the Bible, such as parts of Daniel and Ezra, are written in Aramaic. 5. Survival. While Aramaic is no longer a spoken language in its ancient form, its influence can still be seen in modern dialects spoken in certain communities, such as Assyrian Neo-Aramaic and Western Neo-Aramaic. Because what they do in their mass or their church, the high priest, because it's very rare there apparently that somebody actually still speaks it, right? The ancient Tab Eshet Aramaic, Yishana Tegasapre, whatever, right? Yeah, very rare because they're really old and they don't know English, so they can't translate it for you. So these people, high priests, use their liturgy to read it to their people who are Syrians, who understand what they're saying, right? Because originally it was exclusively for those people, yeah? They separated from the Roman Catholic Church and had their own Church of the East, etc., founded by the disciple Thomas, and they ordained these priests and trained them up. This is the way your church is going to run. This is how you're going to act. This is what you're going to do. It's according to what Yeshua Mashiach, or Jesus the Christ, instructed us, right? Taught us. Okay, so they've been doing it exactly the way they were taught from 1st century AD, when Thomas first founded that church, and they established it around about the 2nd century, something like that, with the help of Thaddeus, Bartholomew, Peter, and Mary of the 70. Those are those people that followed Christ around everywhere, right, in the scriptures. Yeah, so, and then they were persecuted by Emperor Constantine, who wanted to establish a mother church, the Roman Catholic Church, state church, right? So any opposition, he sent his army out, whatever, and invaded them and took their texts and put them to the sword or burnt them or whatever, right? Or took their texts and hid them in their library under lock and key, where they're probably, a lot of them are today in the Vatican, right? In Rome. Yeah, that sort of thing. So he wanted to destroy this church, yeah, take their scripts, do the same thing as doing to everybody else. So they hid them for over 2,000 years. Okay, the ones that Thomas had given them, what Christ had said, done, the miracles he'd done, etc. Somebody amongst those disciples could actually write. They were literate. So all these people out there say, oh no, none of them could read or write and all this sort of stuff. It was all done in Greek. They're completely bogus. They're completely wrong. Yeah. Peter and them were Galilean fishermen, so that's their trade. Not interested in education or anything like writing, whatever, maybe, because their whole trade, their whole life was catching fish, feeding the village, feeding their families, right? Yeah, that's all they were worried about. But somebody amongst them, perhaps someone like Matthew, a Greek tax collector, wrote it down. He might have learnt the Aramaic, okay, while he was hanging around with them and Jesus for like 3.5 years in his mission, whatever, right? Or somebody else there that spoke that Aramaic, Galilean Aramaic, wrote it down. And Thomas, when the Church of Jerusalem was destroyed, like most Jews would do, right, or religious people like that, they'd pick them up and they'd run across the country, right, to safety with these scrolls, because they were their beloved, precious writings, right? And then he gives them to the high priest of this particular church that he founded, Apostolic Church of theirs, and it gets destroyed in the 13th century. And they go through a lot of crap from the Mongols, Genghis Khan, or something like that, or Mongols, Tamerlane, the Kurds, ISIS, Al Qaeda, etc., for like 18 centuries or something like that. According to the we call them patriarchates of the Apostolic Church of theirs. And somebody destroys that church in the 13th century. So eventually, centuries later, it gets restored. And that's where this head patriarchate, Ma Isai Shamun, stated on Andrew Gabriel Roth's website, the AramaicsScriptures.com, before it was taken down, it was put up there, right, that he testified to when those manuscripts or those texts were given to that Apostolic Church of the East by the blessed hands of Thomas. They were preserved, they were hidden, preserved. They weren't tampered with, never translated, etc., etc. But we think, well, maybe at some point, maybe 4th, 5th century AD, they decided to copy it, translate it into Koine Greek, okay, the very ancient, the original ancient Koine Greek, not this modern Latinized Greek or modern Greek today. Okay, so diversity. Like any ancient language, Aramaic had regional variations in dialects. Some notable dialects include Old Aramaic, Imperial Aramaic, Biblical Aramaic, as seen in parts of the Hebrew Bible, and Jewish Palestinian Aramaic, used in Jewish text and literature. Literary legacy, Aramaic was used for a wide range of texts, including legal documents, inscriptions, diplomatic correspondence, and religious texts. Portions of the Bible, such as parts of Daniel and Ezra, are written in Aramaic. 5. Survival. While Aramaic is no longer a spoken language, in its ancient form, not in its modern form, its influence can still be seen in modern dialects, spoken in certain communities, such as Assyrian Neo-Aramaic and Western Neo-Aramaic, and probably derivative from that, the Syriac, etc. In summary, Aramaic is definitely a distinct language. It's not a dialect, it's a language with a rich historical and linguistic heritage, rather than merely a dialect of another language. So yeah, again, that lady was wrong. Okay, and we asked if we can go and check out this live show, but it couldn't do that. It hasn't got the ability to browse the internet. Okay, so we denied that. So we said, okay, this particular live show narrator and the chatters claimed that they are hearing knowing the original Hebrew, but it was found it was cursive Hebrew, a modern version, not the long dead, no longer spoken, written Tav Asheret or Tav Ivri or Hebrew. Okay? And GPT replies, it sounds like the video you mentioned discusses a claim about the original Hebrew language and its script. Here's some clarification. 1. Ancient Hebrew scripts. The term, quote, original Hebrew, unquote, can refer to the ancient scripts used to write Hebrew throughout history. 2. Significant ancient scripts are Tav Asheret, Assyrian script, or the square script, and Tav Ivri, Paleo-Hebrew script. Tav Asheret. This script was used during the First Temple period, around 10th to 6th centuries BCE, before the Christian era, and is known for its angular and blocky characters. Tav Ivri, an even older script used before Tav Asheret, known for its more pictographic and stylized characters. So, because if you look at the Berita, or the book of Genesis, in the family line, you'll see that there was Japheth, the son of Noah, and then his descendants, and it comes up to Arpachshad, and then Shelah, and that person has a son called Eber, who became well known, and that's where the Hebrew came from. The word Hebrew, which was actually our word, translated into the Hebrew, right? People who crossed over, they made a journey. Okay, and then it goes down further, maybe Genesis 10. It shows that lineage, right? And it comes up to Abraham, who was born in Ur of Chaldee. Okay, so it's either Chaldean or he was a Hebrew. He's a descendant of that line anyway, right? Okay, so that's where the Hebrews are. No Israelites, no Jews, no Greeks, nothing like that. Till the people later on became the descendants who became the Anglo-Saxons, or the Anglos, the Germans, the Ashkenazis, the Greeks, or the Hellenes, etc., etc., right? Okay, that's later on, descendants, centuries later, when they say, oh, we are the Hellenes, and then eventually they change the name to, oh, we are the Greeks. Okay, so that clears that up. Tav Ivri, an older script, that's the Hebrew, used before Tav Asheret, known for its more pictographic and stylized characters. Like a picture of what looks like a ball of horns, or a tent, or something like that. That's what it's talking about. 2. Modern Hebrew uses a stylized version of Tav Asheret for printing and handwriting. This modern script is different from the ancient scripts and is used today in Israel and by Jewish communities worldwide. This modern Hebrew, or Israeli Hebrew, was revised in the 1900s, early 1900s. Okay, go look that one up. Cursive Hebrew. There is also a cursive form of Hebrew script used for handwriting, which is a simplified and faster way of writing compared to the printed form. 4. Understanding claims. Claims that someone knows or hears, quote, original Hebrew, unquote, could mean various things. It's important to distinguish between ancient scripts, Tav Asheret, Tav Ivri, and modern Hebrew script used today, or the Israeli Hebrew. While modern Hebrew is based on Tav Asheret, it's based on it, or based around it. It is not identical to the ancient script, or the original ancient, very old Tav Asheret. If the video suggests that the script known today as Hebrew is a modern version derived from historical scripts like Tav Asheret, that would generally be accurate, roughly accurate. However, claims about knowing or hearing the original ancient Hebrew language or script could be subjective or based on different interpretations of historical and linguistic evidence. So, in the case of the Hebrew Israelites, okay, and them saying Yahu Washi Washi, Yahu Wa 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 is God's name, right? When it's not, because we verified it through Dr. James D. Francisco with 2 PhDs in the Aramaic, modern Aramaic and modern Hebrew. We did question him through a comment. Okay, so did you ever? You've translated from the Aramaic, the modern Aramaic Hebrew, right? Yeah, in front of his students or for his students, classes, whatever, right? But he also stated that he translated the Tav Asheret. So we're thinking, hang on, Victor N. Alexander did that from that Bible format, those manuscripts that he bought from that high priest, right? He said he was translating from the wrong version. They don't use that, etc., etc. Right? It's wrong. Yeah, so then he would get a similar result, wouldn't he? If he used the same method that Victor N. Alexander did, He looked at the root words of the modern vernacular, or the Syriac, or the Aramaic, whichever one it was, and then he used those words to translate those long dead words. Okay, etc., whatever he said, centered around that, right? So that's what he did. So this James D. Francisco, with the 2 PhDs in Aramaic and Hebrew, if he translated the original Tav Asherit, there might be several dialects, but still, he would still possibly have the same Near English translation as Victor and Alexander has, and that's what we present to all, okay, through our YouTube channel, the Ministry of the Real Truth, and the videos that we upload. Okay, so there would be a similarity there. For precise details on or clarifications on specific claims made in the video, that's that live show, it would be best to refer to reputable sources or experts in Hebrew language and script history. Yeah, but the thing is, that's really good information for Chat GPT. But sometimes those people, they have a number of PhDs in Aramaic, Hebrew, Greek, etc. But they're paid shills. Okay, they're told, okay, here's a lot of money. You can make a lot of money every month. Don't tell the truth. Tell a whole lot of rubbish. Okay, so they go, oh, okay, because some of them aren't, like university professors, etc. They are atheists. They're not Christians. They don't give a stuff about your soul, about your religion, or that. They're getting this wacky, this great whack of money, right? A lot of money every month. So, they're wealthy. They're living it up. Okay, as long as they're getting it, why would they care? Yeah, they'll still teach their students and all this sort of stuff, this history, whatever, right? But they're not of God. Okay, so they may have some disdain for it. It might come out in their speech, their writings, whatever, their lectures. Yeah, so you have to be very careful there. Yeah, they're called paid shills. They get paid, like many of the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic scrolls that were found, next to the mummies, etc. Some of these people, maybe like Breasthead, etc. What was his name before them? Budge noticed that there were blanks in between the writings, so he rightfully guessed exactly what those words would be, and he translated it right into nearest English. But these others who are paid shills, they were told, no, don't do that, just leave the blanks here. We don't want the people to know what is actually being said. Okay, just put it out there, right? Here's the finance, whatever, here's the money, whatever. Okay, so that's what they did. We're not too sure if it was Breasthead, but it was some people that followed after Wallace Budge. Okay, and they did that sort of thing. There's two or three of them that did that. Yeah, because there's a system out there, or a faction out there, that a false church or religion, etc., powers that don't want you to know the truth. They want to keep you dumb. That's how they control you. So they're going to put a whole lot of rubbish out there in different genres, fields, right? Supposed experts in these different fields. A whole lot of rubbish, right? Like this Hillman guy saying, oh yeah, Jesus was a drug addict, drug trafficker, had a little harem of younger men, all this sort of crap. This is Gnostic teachings. Oh, Jesus had he was a drag queen or something. All this crap they make up, right? It's total crap. Gnostic informant and mythic vision and all that. And that's why they bring on these experts, these atheists, right? Deconstructed. Is it deconstructed? Yeah, Christians, all that sort of stuff, who have gone to the dark side, right? So they got to poo-poo it, yeah, because he's trying to get an audience that's they don't want to believe in God. They've got a fixed mindset. Oh, that's not true. It's all fairy tales. Yeah, that appeals to them. Okay, so they come rushing in. Yeah, I agree with everything you say, Mr. Gnostic Informant or Mr. Myth Vision. Yeah, and all this sort of stuff. Because that guy on your show is an expert, and he wouldn't lie. All this sort of stuff. It caters to their atheism. Something that they can go and then try and use on Christians. Oh, yeah, this guy said this, and there's all this sort of crap. Oh, he's a drug addict. Oh, he had a harem of little boys and all this sort of stuff. And when he got arrested by the guards, he yelled out, hey, I'm not a molester. All this total junk rubbish, right? Yeah. Because it has to happen. There has to be, they have to try, all these atheist trolls, whatever, they have to try and wipe it out. These experts they're paid big bucks. They have to try and wipe out Christianity, right? So it's like a prophecy will be fulfilled, right? That it's going to get to that stage where it could be illegal again, right? You can't preach, you can't do anything, right? Out there. Yeah, they're going to poo-poo it, squish it, try to get rid of it, change all the former Bible versions, add bits to it, take bits away, and tell a whole lot of crap. And then people will go, oh, but this is the holy word of God, and it's just a newer version, easier to read. It's the same thing, it's infallible. But hey, 16 pages are missing, or 16 chapters are missing, or Matthew 7:21 or something is missing, right? According to Gail Riplinger. It's not there. You go look in the NIV, it's not there. You go somewhere else, it's not there. Where did it go? Why did they take it out? Well, they changed it, Yeah, so when Christ comes back, he says, almost like there's no faith. Is anyone here with faith? There'll obviously there'll be a few around, but But he did say no one will wipe it out. No matter how much they try, they can't wipe it off the face of the earth. He won't allow it, or God won't allow it. Okay. But all the sick, all the sick, depriving acts, sordid acts, legislations, etc., etc., that people want to be put into the legislation so they can do what they want. Everything, sick, whatever they're imagining, vain imaginings are, like the days of what's called days of Noah, when everybody was like doing everything to everyone, right? And no one can do anything. There's no like police force or anything like that to stop that, right? Only Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives were the righteous ones, right? Everyone else, say there's 30,000 people in one area, they were just all sick, yeah? They'd do anything, like beat up this guy to take that woman off him, and do this, do that, do that. It's out of control, So like it says in the scriptures, it's going to return to that, the day, as in the days of Noah. It's going to be like that, because these people certain factions want these things passed through legislation or law, so that it'll stop Christians from saying, hey, that's a sin, it's going against God's commands, you're going to get the wrath, all that sort of stuff, right? And then they make mockery of the Christian, right? Okay? Oh, you're violating my rights, all this sort of stuff. I'm a Christian, or you have a Christian that's hanging around with them, where the Bible says don't hang around with those kind of people, right? They go, oh, you should, this, that, all these excuses, right? Because they've got one foot on the earth, on one side of the gate, and another foot on the other side of the gate. Okay, so they're like, what's that? Where they use the scriptures, lukewarm. Okay, and they think they're a big time Christian, and when they get up to the gates of heaven, Jesus will say, oh no, I don't know you. Off you go, shoo. Oh, but, no. And then they get all angry at him, like they do to you on YouTube when you expose them for their rubbish that they put across. Okay, so that's coming from all this. We're asking ChatGPT, right? So we then asked it. So is the Tav Asherit and the Tav Ivri long D languages no longer written or spoken as they were in the day times era today? It replied, yes, both Tav Asherit Assyrian script and Tav Ivri Paleo-Hebrew script are ancient scripts that are no longer used in their original form for everyday writing or spoken communication. So they're probably modified in a new modern vernacular, right? Or derivative of that original Old Dead language. Because we asked on ChatGPT, okay, so if this narrator was saying, I don't believe anyone that says, it's a long dead language and all this sort of stuff, all this rubbish, right? Tell them to go away, and use scriptures as a reference, right, to get people on the side. Okay, so that guy is completely wrong. Okay, because if he was using ChatGPT and verifying, ChatGPT, when I asked it, what's the name of God, it said this, and all this sort of stuff, right for the 3-hour live debate thing, whatever, right? Okay, then if we use it and it tells us something that he's used, and it's told him something, and he's verifying his truth, well then, why is it going to lie? I mean, is AI prone to lying, or perhaps getting things wrong? It's because it's me that program put all this information in there, right? Supposedly. Okay? But apparently AI starts thinking for itself now, and all that sort of stuff, right? So, Yeah, that was his way of poo-pooing us. We were in the us and these Christians. Okay? Because he's probably lying to everybody, right? He thinks he's telling the truth, but he's actually incorrect. Okay, to put it nicely. Right? But he's pushing it to get them on his side. Like he's saying to the Hebrew Israelites, this is a European. They say, oh, don't listen to the white man and all this sort of stuff, right? Whatever, right? And then they're getting this information from this European guy, yeah, and they're praising him. Oh, Pastor Kelly, whatever your name is, right? You know, but out in the street they're saying, oh, white man, all this sort of stuff, right? So they're hypocrites, aren't they? They're two-faced, yeah? You know, they're contradicting themselves, right? Because he's catering to their movement. Oh yeah. You Hebrew Israelites are the Israelites. Moses was black. God was black. Jesus was black. Moses was black. The devil was black. Everybody's black, right? Etc. etc. And they go, yeah, because he's on their side. He's saying what they want to hear, right? Itching ears. Okay. And if we say something like we're saying now, they'll come at us with these sarcastic, nasty retorts, false assumptions, accusations, all these lies they've created, right? And we say to them, well, you know, nicely, cool as a cabbage. We do have a bit of cheekiness, right, sometimes towards him, right? But it's not like hatey, if you know what I mean. It's like we're being men, standing our ground. We're not going to go buckle over, put our bum up in the air and say, yeah, okay, like little girlies, right? Little girly guys or whatever, right? Because we believe in the Word of God as the Word of God, okay? So if they're telling us all this rubbish, we're going to expose them on it. Say, here you go, here's the sources, here's links to the sources of the information, here's what the scriptures actually say, right? Here's what they don't say. Okay, this guy, your leader, behind the scenes, we've done the investigative journalism, the guy's a dirty sodomite or whatever the history says, right? He's a scammer, he scams money and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you know, what's that telling you, right? Oh, but we just showed you that, you know, the evidence established the facts. Oh, okay, your claim is false. Like you come at us, like someone we met outside, we went shopping, he said, oh, we were angels once in heaven and God kicked us out because we sinned and now we're trying to get our way back into heaven. So, what does that say in scripture? And he said, what do you, what translation of something do you use? You see, we use the original ancient Old Aramaic. And his reply was, you know, the Aramaic. The guy doesn't know nothing about it, you know. He's pushing his church, his religiosity, right, okay, as the one, the only, right. Anyone else is competition, opposition, so he will go all out and poo-poo them. He'll twist the scriptures, he'll lie, etc., believing it to be the truth. Okay, like I said to a guy about the NIV, it's coming from the Roman Catholic Church, etc. No, it isn't. Okay, there's bits and pieces missing. No, it isn't. But there's people out there, experts, that will show you, they'll tell you, this verse is missing. This verse is missing. This has been changed. This has been changed from a new day to new world order. Okay, Stephen Anderson, the crazy preacher, Baptist preacher or whatever he is. Yeah, he's telling you, you know, the New World Order Bibles. Watch out. You're not going to know the difference. Well, you know, you'll ignore that there's his facts. You know, that someone's messed with it. Yeah, because you'll go, oh no, the Bible I got isn't. It's the infallible Word of God. There's no contradictions, no mistakes. But then we can prove to you through Mark 15:34 bad transliterations. Okay, of what Christ supposedly said dying on the cross. We have the evidence. And that's what we, the ministry of the real truth, are all about. Okay? We don't care what you believe, you know, what religion you are, whatever, but when you try to say, oh, God said this, Jesus said this, and we look at it, your claims, okay, your claim facts, your proofs, your evidence, whatever, and we find it's a load of rubbish, we'll expose you on it. We do the research. We go around and look for that information to verify it is actually established fact. The evidence has proven itself evident, etc., etc. We do the footwork. Okay, we ask people, you've made a claim, can you back it up with a link to your sources? They never do. Okay? They make another claim. Back it up with your sources. We'd like to look at that. They never bring it to us. And if they do, it's some fake, Hebrew Israelite guy or whatever, Someone that behind the scenes that we've found through investigative journalism, that's a creep. He's a scammer or something, He's just got arrested, arrested for bashing his wife or abusing his niece or something like that, right? Whatever he's done, right? Okay? Yeah? So, yeah. So, it's Paleo-Hebrew script. It goes on about used in earlier periods, etc., etc. Both scripts are studied and referenced in academic and religious context, etc. In summary, while Tav Asherah and Tav Ivri are no longer actively used as they were in ancient times, their influence and legacy continue to be significant in the study of Hebrew language, literature and history. That's why the leaders of Judaism in the Vatican, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, etc., acknowledge that the original ancient Tav Asherah has contributed a hell of a lot to the study of the scriptures. They acknowledge it. Okay, so that's basically a rundown of that live show. I've forgotten the name of it. But it's to do with AI asking a question. The question, what's God's real name? What's stuff? Yeah. That we spent time listening to and commentating on. So, hopefully this has opened your eyes to us, the Ministry of the Right Truth, and what we're really all about. We're not here to play games, fill you full of hype, fluff, and all this other puff and rubbish, or the silly nonsense. We try to find you, through our personal research, etc., the real truth according to the scriptures, right? From the original ancient, very old manuscripts, be it Tav Asherah, the Aramaic, the sacred scribal language of godly Shana Tikasapaya, the Tav Ivri, the Hebrew, etc., right? Because there's a lot of rubbish out there. Okay, it is all about controlling you, controlling people, getting them on your side by, there's a competition, we'll tell a whole lot of lies about them. We squish down the opposition. Okay, by having a pointy, judgy finger, making up all this rubbish. Okay, we used to do the same with the Mormons and the JWs and all that sort of stuff, but we found by accident books and stuff that unverify that, right, to a certain extent. Okay, they do still have their wacky ways, wacky ideas, like Jesus was created when the original ancient Aramaic, Galilean Aramaic, etc., Old Testament Tav Asherah says he's the uncreated creator. He was always there. He was not created. And then they say, he's Michael the Archangel. Nope. All this sort of stuff, right? So if he was a created creator, okay, God made him, or God gave birth to him, or whatever, wouldn't God have a wife or something? And then they say, he's made in the image of God. And they use an example like, see this guy here might be, if he was my son, he'd look like me, act like me, because he's of me, right? Of my seed, whatever. Yeah, but that's a human term. The God one is different. Okay? Christ is in the image, reflection of God. Okay? Because you can't look at God in his complete form. You might see a shadow, you might see a shoulder, something like that, as those prophets did throughout the Old Testament. But you'll never be able to stare at him, face on. Right? Because he's too glorious, his light is too much, etc., etc. That's why Moses turned away and didn't dare look at God. He was in fear. Okay, and others didn't look at God because they were in fear. Okay, they get blind, or whatever, get blinded. So Christ has to come to men, to the earth, in the image of God. He's God incarnate, dwells amongst these Israelites, etc., etc. Right? And then they could look upon him and not die because he's in human form. Yeah, but he had the face of God, because he's the muta, he's the manifestation, he's the revelation of God, right? He's God incarnate, he was revealed. Like, manifestation basically means it's something that is there, right, but it hasn't been revealed yet, and then it's suddenly revealed. Okay, and the Christ is known as the muta, because apparently there's no English equivalent to that word, right, in the Aramaic. So Victor and Alexander, native-born Aramaic translator from Mesopotamia. He had to find a word that fitted that. Okay, when he translated it, so he chose manifestation. But in this translation project notes, he also put he's the manifestation of God, and God is the embodiment of that manifestation. And then you have the triune Godhead, the Elohim, which is very, very different from the Elohim. Okay, El being the article, the, right? You get a lot of these ufologists, etc., that actually explain it correctly. The God with a capital G, or the gods. Okay, do your research on that, right? When God's original name was El, E-I-L, A-I-L. We found that one in this old 1820 book as well. In the introduction there, first page there, it said name of God, I-L, something after that, A-I-L. So these people must have known something. Yeah, so that's us, the ministry of the real truth. We don't get into this hype fluff or other rubbish, garbage, right? Don't try to pull the wool over your eyes. And we have a policy put in place which is honesty is the best policy. Okay? And we believe in the old time chivalry. Nobody follows that anymore. They all lie through their teeth, etc., etc., right? A man's honour, his word is no longer his word, no longer his honour, right? Yeah. And we come to realise, yeah, we're human. We make mistakes. That makes us human, right? So we have the quote by Shakespeare. To err is human, or to make a mistake is human, but to forgive is divine. It's almost godlike, right? So we have these policies in place before we created our YouTube channel, because we knew, right, ahead of time that trolls, skeptics, atheists, nasties, Christians of different denominations tried to establish their church, their denomination, their religiosity as the number one, that they are the chosen, that they have the correct scriptures, there's no contradictions, no errors, which we can prove there are. Mark 15:34, which is a second or third generation Arabic Greek transliteration. It does not mean why have you forsaken me? Okay, because God doesn't forsake his son, and he doesn't forsake the people, right? He might turn his back on them because they sin, and he turns his back around. He's like, right, you're under my wrath, you're under my anger, you're going to reap these consequences. Okay, he's not going to leave you in the dark. If you wake up and realise, hey, I need transformation, I need the Christ, etc., he'll welcome you, right? Okay, he might call you, might say, hey, your life is crap, here's a better opportunity for you, eternal life, salvation, grace, mercy, my love, etc., etc., right? How about it? And you, I don't believe that crap, it's all fairy tales. Okay, so you lose out, but he's always there waiting, right? You might turn around again and go, oh damn, my life sucks, I need something different. There's the opportunity, an opportunity might come to you, right? And you reject them again, keep doing it, and then in the end, who's the loser? Yeah, if you die and you go to the place that these Jews are all talking about, as soon as you die and you wake up and blah blah blah, all this stuff happens to you. It's quite interesting, but it's very confusing because they chuck the Hebrew in between, right? They say let's say for example, they say halakha, all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm trying to absorb the stuff you're saying in English, but then you're adding all this Hebrew stuff, right? Maybe you should just say it all in English, okay? Make it easier. Give the definitions in English rather than the language, because it just us Westerners, it'll just totally blow our minds and confuse us, right? Baffle us, because we're trying to think about what you're saying, and then we hear that halakha in between, Okay, so yeah, that's what we did. We went and asked ChatGPT. Okay, it is a device or software that has human input, programming, all that sort of stuff to respond. Okay, it will tell you, well, we don't really want to say that about the Jews, that's not nice, all that sort of stuff. It's got its limits, right? Because it's been programmed to do that. Okay, so hopefully this video has made you wake up, be more aware to what's going on out there, and these cults, movements, sects, SECTS, etc., that are just trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Okay, their father is Satan. according to the scriptures. That's their father, right? The liar, etc., etc. If they're coming at you with all those assumptions, false assumptions, accusations, lies, twisting of scriptures, etc., etc., when you have done the research, you have the knowledge, you have the sources, links to the sources, etc., etc., you are well grounded. They're trying to destroy you in trying to promote through their ways, their techniques, their methods. Because they want to establish their church as the one. They're the chosen one. They're the true this. They're the true that, and all this sort of stuff. When we expose them and say, "No, you're not," they get all nasty. It's a neurocognitive problem. Okay, I've stood on your ego. I've crushed you. I've exposed your falsities. Okay, I've kicked your truths, your beliefs in the nuts, in the ghoulies, and it hurts. Okay, truth is a two-edged sword, like Christ said. It cuts deep, even to the marrow of your bones. People can't stand the truth. Okay, they don't want you to expose the truth. Yeah, what they believed or have been told to believe, it's suddenly exposed. It's not the truth, so they naturally get all nasty. It's one of those human things. You're programmed, you're conditioned. You're probably told over and over again, if anyone says this about this, don't believe them, run away from them, all this sort of stuff. It's all programming. Okay? Why do they keep telling you that? They keep telling you, to get into your mind. Because a lie told over and over and over again soon becomes the truth, right? Look at the common sense and logic and the reality of things. There's lots of lies out there. You got to dig through all the soot, all the rubbish, right, to find the truth. Okay, because people are on selling you a load of rubbish. Okay, so we hope that you really enjoyed this video and that it's opened your eyes to it. We're going to stop there because we could talk for hours and hours and hours. Maybe we should do a live show. So if you enjoyed this and it woke you up to these various things, then subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Add your comments underneath. What did we say? Yeah. Give us a like. Subscribe to our channel. Add your comments underneath and keep them mature. Okay? No sport brat comments. Or else we'll send you to hell. Whatever. Anyway, and we'll get back to you on those as soon as we can. And then go share it with all your family, friends and others. So they can know the truth, the real truth, the whole truth, etc. Right? Not be fooled anymore. Had the wool pulled over their eyes, etc., etc.